I'll call the Saluda School District Board of Trustees meeting to order. It's November the 16th. We're at Saluda High School. This meeting has been announced and appropriately advertised according to the requirements of the Freedom of Information Act of Public Meetings. I'll let the record reflect that quorum is present, and Mayor Moore is absent tonight, and the board can legally take action. Next, I'll have the invocation. Our kind and most gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for this opportunity to come together this evening to do your good work. Give us the strength and wisdom, wherewithal to make the right decisions for our school district, our students, our faculty, our staff, our administrators. Bless all those that are here this evening. Thank you for the opportunity to work for the good work of this school district. Bless everyone over these Thanksgiving holidays. And also remember Mayor Moore's mother. She is in the hospital and he cannot be with us this evening. Special prayer for him. Guide us now, direct us. Keep us safe travels home. In your holy name we pray. Amen. Next on the agenda is the swearing in of board members. Judge Horn?
Judge Horn.
We have Dr. Puryear, Ms. Holloway, Mr. Holloway, and Ms. Stewart. Y'all I know you want to social distance, so if y'all want to come and stay 6 feet, and how you want to do this? We'll spread out, and yes.
That looks perfect.
You can move this there a little bit.
Just face.
That was perfect right there.
All right. Does that look good, Dr. Vecchio?
We're good.
Okay.
Okay, if you will raise your right hand, please, repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified,
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state,
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties
to exercise the duties
of Saluda County School District Board members,
of Saluda County School District Board members,
the office to which I have been elected,
the office to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve,
and preserve,
protect, and defend
protect, and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and of the United States.
and of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Judge Horn, thank you as always for coming out and swearing in our board.
Yes, sir, no problem.
Thank you, congratulations, Bill Horn. Next on the agenda is the approval of the minutes from October 26, 2020. You received a copy of the minutes in your packet. Are there any additions or deletions? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes for October 26. Motion by Ms. Nichols. Second by Mr. Jordan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, please raise your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Next on the agenda is approval of the agenda, Dr. Livingston.
Dr. Coleman, we invited the balance of our delegation to come to our November board meeting. Unfortunately, there were some scheduling conflicts and the other members weren't able to join us, so we will hopefully be able to invite them back in later today, but we will not have a legislative update from the delegation tonight.
Is there a motion to amend the agenda to not include the legislative update? Motion by Ms. Nichols, second by Dr. Puryear to amend the agenda to delete the legislative update. Any further discussion? All those in favor of amending the agenda, please signify by raising your hand. It's unanimous. All those in favor of the a motion now by Ms. Nichols to approve the amended agenda, second by Dr. Puryear. All those in favor signify by raising your hand for the amended agenda. Vote unanimous, thank you. Next, Dr. Livingston is a student support service update.
Yes, ma'am, thank you, Dr. Coleman. I want to invite, Ms. Elizabeth Shumpert. Ms. Shumpert is our Director of Student Support Services. This is her second year. Her and her staff have done an amazing job over the past year and a half, and especially last year with COVID, being able to meet the needs of our, all of our students, but especially our students that require a little bit of extra attention. So just wanted her to come tonight and kind of provide the board an update, and of course she'll be able to answer any questions I may have.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Elizabeth Shumpert. For those of you who don't know me, I began my teaching career as a first-year teacher in Saluda County Schools 23 years ago, and I am excited to now serve as your Director of Student Support. Before I start providing you with some of the updates, I would like to share a 7-minute video with you on our teachers who work with our students who have special needs, and also a family of one of our students.
Good morning. I'm Sherry Nancy. I'm the academic support teacher here at Saluda Elementary School. I am so happy and humbled that we're back at school with my kids. Very happy they came in and they have adjusted to the new normal. They're excited about being back at school. And so we're so excited to be back at work and just learning and having fun with each other.
My name is Ashley Kiesler, and I am a speech pathologist here in Saluda County Schools. This year, I am changing the way I'm providing speech therapy services. Not only am I doing face-to-face services, I am doing virtual speech therapy. Now, beginning the school year, that was a bit of a challenging thought, but I rely heavily on my colleagues for support and as a resource. And I will say, starting, I had a lot of questions. Will my students be engaged? Will they log on weekly? Are we going to make progress towards our speech and language goals? Wrapping up this first 9 weeks of school, I can happily report that everything is going well. Parents are playing a critical role in this. They are active participants in this therapy process. My kids are engaged. They are working hard. Like I said, I've gotten lots of great ideas from my colleagues, and all of my students are making progress. So I'm very thankful to have the opportunity to serve students not only here at school, but at home as well.
Hey, I'm Kim.
I'm George.
Hi, George. And why virtual learning is working for our family? Unique learning. You like unique learning? Okay. What about Miss Johnson's class?
Do you like Miss Johnson's class, or do you love Miss Johnson's class?
Yes.
Love Miss Johnson's
Yes.
class. It gives me peace and comfort knowing that Hunter has a less chance of being exposed to this virus that's out, and Miss Johnson is just an awesome teacher.
She makes the class fun. They work one-on-one. They work at their pace. They get their lessons done. They turn them in, and it's been a great first semester.
Hello, I'm Linda Back, special education teacher at Saluda High School, doing virtual schools with my students. There have been challenges, especially with technology, but overall I would have to say that my parents of students have been phenomenal, and the students themselves have been most receptive to my instruction. It has been getting them logging in on time, getting the instruction delivered the way I would like it to, and having them be successful doing virtual school. I know there are emotional upsets for some of them, but they have made it through. They're persevering. We are getting where we need to be, and hopefully that's what we carry on.
Hi, my name is Mrs. Dickinson, and I am a resource teacher at Saluda Middle School. And I think one of the best things about being back at school face-to-face is getting to interact with the students students and seeing those aha moments up close and personal when they start putting two and two together and you see their faces light up right there while you're in the room with them. That is the most exciting part of doing that.
The most rewarding part of my job is getting to come to school every day with my students. They're all very young, so it's so important to have face-to-face instruction with these little ones.
I'm Crystal Cannon, I teach at Saluda High School, academic enrichment, which is also known as resource. And I'd like to talk a little bit about what it means to be back in the classroom for this school year. First of all, some of the challenges that I and students have faced is consistently maintaining those social distances. For me, that is exceptionally hard because I really like to get close to the children, talk to them one-on-one. I'm a back patter. I love to give high fives and just that physical encouragement. Some of the kids really thrive with that and actually desire to have that closeness and that physical encouragement. So that has been a challenge. The kids have handled all the challenges in one first job, though. I have to say that. Some of the most rewarding things about being back in the classroom is I get to physically see my students every day. Even with the mask on, we can tell when they're happy or they're a little stressed or they need a timeout. I do far better when I can see my students and read their body language. I know if they need a little extra encouragement, or I know if they need to stay at arm's distance, and then slowly encourage them later. It's very hard through an email or through virtual learning to see when they're frustrated or they don't understand. Maybe that's part of their frustration is they can't tell me virtually where their struggle is. So having them in the classroom and me being able to look at their faces and see them happy and overhear their conversations in lunchtime of how they really enjoy being back in the classroom means a lot. And lastly, the students, they are absolutely champions at this. They come in, they know that their area needs to be disinfected. Lots of times I help them with that, or if they notice I haven't gotten around to it because I'm doing something else, they just jump in, no questions asked, and they take care of everything that needs to be done. No questions asked, no complaints. They're wonderful about using their masks and keeping social distance. At first that was very difficult because they wanted to share all of their ideas and work collaboratively like they had in previous years, but now they understand it very full and well. Going to mask, let's figure out different ways to share notes, such as on the Google Classroom or through sharing documents, but they have to be commended in all the things they are taking in and they're dealing with, and they're doing it wonderfully.
Hi, I'm Jennifer Works. I'm a resource teacher here at Hollywood Elementary. Socially and emotionally, I think that students, I know all of my students because I've asked them if they're happy to be back at school. They're all excited to be back at school. And honestly, some of them even tell me that when we have breaks, they don't want to be on breaks because they enjoy school. This is their routine, it's their little job, and they love coming to school every day. This is their safe place. So I feel that socially and emotionally, my students are doing well with face-to-face learning.
Okay, so as you can see, our students and our teachers, they are just really thriving, whether it be in the classroom, face-to-face with their students, or whether it be in a virtual classroom. All of our teachers have gone above and beyond, and they've done an outstanding job. We have also put into place contingency plans, and we have contingency plans to ensure that services will continue regardless of the learning model. We have 3 different learning models in our contingency plan, and that would be an interim distance learning model. So if a student or a teacher were to get coronavirus and they had to isolate for 2 weeks, that would be what we call the short term. And they would continue to get their services both virtually. It may not be for the entire time, but the teacher would be with them not face-to-face in a classroom, but face-to-face on the computer. And then there would be some asynchronous services after the teacher has led and given instructions where the students would then go apply what they have learned. And then we also have a plan for if, hopefully not, but if we had to go on a hybrid plan, the same thing. The teachers have plans for how they would provide those services on the days that the students are in the building, and then what learning looks like on the days that they're learning from home. And then there's also, of course, the full distance learning model. All of our special ed teachers have turned in their contingency plans. Their principals have gone over the contingency plans with them. And so we have them, they're ready to go into place should we ever need them. And learning will not need to stop regardless. Another thing that I wanted to share with you is that currently 90 out of 384 special education students are receiving their services as full distance learners. I have sent out a pre-survey so that I can start planning for second semester. And I am excited to say that 85 out of those surveys have come back. And 43 of those students are planning on coming back as face-to-face students in second semester. I currently have 6 full distance learning teachers, and I'm also happy to say that 3 of them will be coming back to be face-to-face teachers. So we will have 3 full distance learning teachers and 3 that will also be coming back into their buildings. And I also wanted to give you an update on how students are progressing towards their academic goals. FastBridge is what we use for progress monitoring. It uses curriculum-based measures, which simply means it measures progress in basic academic areas. In reading, our students did regress 3 percentage points from last March to this fall. However, there is a typical summer slide even when there's not a pandemic going on. So 3% I felt wasn't terribly bad. I wish it could have been a little bit better, but we are working to close that gap. I am excited to say that when we progress monitored the students in math, we showed an increase of 1%. We will progress monitor again this winter, and then it will be exciting to see what happens between the fall progress monitoring and the winter. At that time, that's all the updates that I have for you, but does anybody have any questions?
Do you have any questions? Ms. Shepherd?
Thank you.
Thank you. Good update. We appreciate all you're doing for our students.
Thank you, Dr. Coleman.
Next on the agenda is operations and budget update.
Let's go play.
Good evening, everyone.
Wanted to bring to y'all tonight the general fund operating analysis for the month of October 31st, 2020. For the revenues, there was 470,617 local revenues, and which is 6%, and then 3,553,674, about 30% of your state fund, and then federal fund we received about 14,558 at about 9%. Altogether, we received 4,038,848, which is about 20% of the projected revenue. For your expenditures through that report date, we have spent $5,482,131, or 28% of the projected budget. Salaries and benefits, for salaries, we have spent $3,133,486, or about 26% of that budget. And $1 million for benefits, we spent $1,363,604, or 24% of that budget. For utilities, we've spent $206,895, or about 38% of that budget. For repair and maintenance, we have spent $27,870, or 42% of that budget. For communications, we have spent $20,654, which is about 32% of that budget. And for purchase services, we've spent $247,166 at 30%. Supplies, we've spent $272,921 for about 57% of that budget. We've not spent anything through our general fund in equipment, and for insurance, we've spent $133,933, or 99% of that budget. And for other expenditures, we've spent $75,603, or at 32%. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Ms. Crawford?
Are these numbers kind of in line for what they were last year, just out of curiosity?
Yes, I would say they're pretty much in line with where they were at last year.
Anything that you see alarming that may stick out?
I really do not see anything alarming at this point. I feel good where they're at. If you might take a look at like supplies and things like that and feel like they're high right now. Right. But what happens as the year goes on, at first we buy a lot of supplies up front and start using them, and then we slow down on that purchasing. So then it starts balancing back out, so.
Well, I'm the new kid on the block, so I might have some questions.
Oh, that's fine. No, you're good.
I just like that, you know, I'm like 25% of the year, and I was looking at some of the percentages. I want to make sure nothing's really alarming.
Nothing's really alarming. Like I said, at the beginning of the year like this, some areas will seem high. A lot of times maintenance will seem high, supplies will seem high. And that's just because we kind of come in at the first of the year and we're buying up all of those products to prepare for the year. So, but as the year goes, it gives you a balance back down where it's not really off any. So.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I know it's not easy sitting there talking numbers.
No.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
You're fine, you're fine. Any other questions?
Any other questions? Thank you, Kathy.
All right, thank you.
Next on the agenda is instruction. First item is the 2021-2022 school district calendar, Dr. Lucas.
Okay, yes, ma'am, Dr. Coleman, and I believe the board has a copy of the proposed calendar in your packet.
Right here, calendar.
Just a few little highlights, and then obviously we want to discuss the calendar in greater detail. In designing the calendar, we received feedback from our principals, teachers, and staff members. Our teachers felt that this past year that Leap Week was very beneficial, and they asked that if we could embed our staff development days up front so that they could bring in small groups of students as they did this year prior to the official start of school. We also surveyed all staff members to determine kind of how the majority wanted their winter break, with Christmas being on a Saturday. We polled the group to see if they wanted full before or to come, so this kind of reflects the overwhelming majority, the wishes of our staff. You'll also notice that during the second semester, we were able to embed at least a break or a holiday each month during the second semester to kind of help recharge those second semester batteries. You'll also notice that spring break will run the week before Easter, and we'll also have the Monday after Easter. And by doing this will provide us a good 4 weeks of uninterrupted instruction prior to the administering of our state assessments. This calendar is very similar to what I brought to the board last year, obviously until COVID hit. But I'll be happy to entertain any questions or suggestions. You will notice that second semester will start once we come back from Christmas break. That'll be a nice clean start for our high school and our middle school students. We also have our weather days embedded, and since we are an e-learning district, we could choose either to physically come in for the makeup days, or they could be e-learning days.
Any questions for Dr. Lucas on the calendar? So we have those leave days, that first week right before school starts.
Yes, ma'am.
They put money out for the leap days this year.
They did this year, as of right
They
now,
anticipated that next year.
and as of right now, there is no word on if the state would provide funding, but since our teachers are already going to be working, there won't be any yes, ma'am.
So they're on.
Yes, ma'am.
Anyway.
So in essence, the first 5 days would be their normal professional development and their work days, and then the schools would work how they would want to bring in students, either that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or kind of a variety of ways. And really, other than a transportation expense, possibly a food expense, we feel that this will be the benefit will definitely outweigh any cost to the district, and also too hoping that we can get some assistance from the state when that time comes. But our teachers, especially our K through 8, not that the high school wouldn't also utilize it, but they definitely felt that it was very much worth their time bringing those kids in on very small groups. They were able to go and get some of the assessments out of the way, go on and get some procedures out of the way. So when school officially started, we hit the ground running. Obviously, the high school, very excited about kind of having that Thursday start, which was kind of traditionally years ago how we would do high school, especially with 4x4, coming in that Thursday, that Friday. If there was a scheduling conflict or something that kids wanted to change, Dr. Vacchio and his staff would come in on that weekend, get the schedules adjusted, so then Monday, that kid is in the right placement. Instead of Saturday, sometimes we start on Monday, we're waiting several days before we can get those changes made. So really kind of a compromise to meet the needs of all of our schools.
Any questions on the calendar? Can a motion to adopt the 21-22 school district calendar? A motion? Motion by Dr. Courier, second by Ms. Holloway. Is any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Now, next on the agenda is board policy EEAE, the safety program. And, go ahead.
Dr. Coleman, some of you may remember this policy from last school year. We discussed it at, I believe, 2 or 3 board meetings, and there was a desire to get a legal clarification of the term drugs. We did get that clarification from our attorney last February. It was actually on the March agenda, and that's when COVID hit, so we never had second reading on this policy. But just as a reminder, our school attorney felt that the term drugs as defined in the policy was sufficient.
I have a motion to adopt, give second reading to board policy EEAE.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Holloway, second by Mr. Jordan. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Next is board policy EBC emergencies. Second reading. Dr. Lucas.
Yes, ma'am. And Dr. Coleman, the draft you have in front of you is the draft from first reading, as well as any discussion from our board workshop, but no changes were suggested from the workshop the other week.
Okay. Any questions? Okay. Motion to adopt board policy EBC. Motion by Ms. Nichols, second by Dr. Puryear. Discussion, all those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Next is, board policy GCOA, evaluation of instructional staff.
Dr. Coleman, the changes of adding at the very top, you'll see every instructional staff member, in the first two bullets, those were changes asked by the board. The remainder of the policy is straight from, State Department regs and, State Board regs.
Questions about this? Motion to adopt GCOA for second reading. Motion by Mr. Jordan, second by Mr. Holloway. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. We have, several new, policies now. ACB, educational equity. Dr. Lynch, I have some questions about the language on this, and, kind of like we did on the bus safety. I would, just on the wording, I think it's, very important that we have policies in place to ensure equity, but, I just would like for our attorney to look at this one also, so, I would ask that we carry this over to our regular January meeting. Is there a motion? Motion to carry over policy ACB for second reading to our January regular meeting, second by Dr. Puryear. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Next is policy GBGAB, lactation accommodation.
Yes, ma'am. No change, Dr. Coleman. This is straight from the law.
Is there a motion? Motion by Dr. Puryear, second by Mr. Jordan. Any further discussion?
We actually have the places that
We would designate a room at each building to provide adequate privacy. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Next is, actually, there are 3 service animal, new policies on service animals. Is there an objection to taking all 3 of those together, since, they're all similar language and we worked on those? Is there any objection?
All 3 service animals
All
together.
right, that would be policy ACE, GBGAA, and JLCDD.
Yes, ma'am. Dr. Coleman, after consulting with school board attorney, also doing some research under the American Disability Act, which I provided the board the other week, I would definitely suggest, which is clarified and stated in ADA regulations, the phrase in all 3 that emotional support, therapy, comfort, or comfort animals are not defined as service animals under the Americans with Disabilities Act or this policy.
I think we discussed that, so, we have those changes in that, right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, is there a motion to adopt, ACE, GBGAA, and JLCDD with those changes? Motion by Ms. Nichols, second by Mr. Jordan. Any further discussion? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote unanimous. Thank you. Last is policy ING on animals in the school.
Yes, ma'am. I do want to clarify one question I was asked to seek the rationale by the attorneys. The 3rd bullet, of which references animals remain in the vehicle while the owner is visiting the campus. That is, in essence, just to cover us in the event that an individual does come in. The individual should keep the windows open to provide ventilation but just kind of as a, as a reminder for individuals to use good common sense. If an animal is left in the car while your parent would have to run in for a brief time. Also too, after reviewing some other board policies, the very second bullet point, we definitely want to make sure that nothing in this policy will impact our ag program, our FFA program, or any instructional use that would involve an animal. So I have added, or I do suggest to the board that we add the phrase, nothing in this policy will prohibit animals on school property if it is an animal for instructional purposes, whose presence and purpose is authorized in writing in advance through the designated office and the building administrator / principal. An animal for instructional purposes is defined as the use of live animals as part of instruction using approved standards-based curriculum.
Okay. Any questions? Motion to adopt board policy ING with those changes for second reading. Motion by Mr. Jordan, second by Ms. Holloway. Any discussion, questions? All those in favor, signify by raising your hand. Vote is unanimous. Next on the agenda is the 2020-2021 school reopening plan update, Dr.
We've got a brief statement I'll talk through, and then we'll discuss some logistics and the survey and answering questions. We're very excited to be releasing our second semester parent survey tomorrow morning. Parents will have until Monday, November 23rd to complete the survey. For those parents who do not complete the survey by the deadline, schools will follow up with them. A video discussing the second semester will be embedded in the parent survey. And once we have our numbers, we will start the process of looking at class numbers and teacher assignments. I will definitely keep the board updated on class sizes and any staffing needs. And Dr. Coleman, I will most likely be requesting if we could hold a board workshop prior to our January 25th board meeting, and definitely prior to the start of the second semester on January 19th. I did provide the board by email a copy of the video that will be embedded. I also later this afternoon actually sent the board by email a link to the actual survey that parents will be going through. I did provide a paper copy as well for you, and this is what parents will be receiving by email or by text message, or they can complete it by pulling up on the website. We did learn some tips the first time, and we definitely streamlined the survey. We eliminated some confusion that we felt that we created the first time that we did first semester. But obviously, once it pops up, the parents can click on the video, the English version for those designated English. Also, we have a translated version. The parent will fill in student name, their current location, grade, and their current model of instruction. And then the page 3, the question on, do you want to change, would you like to change your child's model? If they click no, then it goes straight to the final page for the parent to sign off. If the parent would want to change the model, then it would go to another page in which the parent could select the change they want to make, and then based on their selection, that determines what next slide it goes to. We did eliminate, based on some feedback I received from the board last week, we streamlined the survey to make it a little more parent and user friendly. And of course, we'll reach out to our parents, those parents who still have some concerns. We'll definitely ask them to contact principals, guidance counselors, just so that we are providing the most up-to-date information so our parents can make the best decision for their families. But once we do get hard numbers in. I would definitely keep the board updated on hard numbers, but also, like I say, we definitely want to be face to face. So the board has a clear picture of what class sizes, any staffing needs, or any special accommodations that we need to consider for second semester Dr. Coleman.
December or January, or just wait and see how the data?
Dr. Coleman, I would really like to see how quick the data comes in. I would hope that we can have our data early in December, which in that case, I would love to be prior to Christmas, but I hate to say until I have the actual hard numbers.
All right. Any questions on the reopening plan? As soon as we get some information, I'll share with you on the day that we can get everybody together for a workshop. All right, next on the agenda is superintendent's report.
Dr. Coleman, the board, just a few things. As always, I want to start by thanking the entire Saluda family for their continued efforts. As we are in now week 12 of face-to-face instruction 5 days a week in Saluda County Schools. Our students and staff continue to make us all proud as they navigate COVID-19, and they're following the rules, following our procedures. So we're still trending very well. I'm also working with our lead nurse, Elizabeth O'Norman and DHEC, in order to schedule an after-school drive-up flu clinic within the next couple of weeks. We are hopefully going to confirm that date tomorrow, and this will be no cost to our parents, and any student of Saluda County Schools will be eligible to receive a no-cost flu clinic through the DHEC nurses. So I will have information for that for the board, hopefully tomorrow, and then we'll get out to the community. Probably looking at having it in between the elementary and the primary school. They need a kind of a covered walkway. So somewhere in town, and DHEC initially said that, kind of the time frame of 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock for the first round, and then if they need to hold another one, we can work with them, but we definitely want to go on and get a date before November is out. So very excited about that. And in closing, Dr. Coleman and board, I want to wish everyone a safe and happy Thanksgiving break. We have a lot we plan for Saluda County Schools. And as a reminder, the district will be closed starting Wednesday, November 25th, and we will reopen on Monday, November 30th. And yes, Dr. Coleman, our principals and myself will be reminding all of our staff members to maintain good social distance during the holiday season. And if they're out and about, make sure you got your mask on. And our people have really done a great job with that, but we will remind them this Friday, and we will remind them again next Tuesday. And with that, Dr. Coleman, that's all I have tonight.
All right. Any questions for Dr. Livingston? The school board delegate assembly is December 3rd and 4th. They are having a virtual day on the 3rd, which is the legislative panel and some more information. So sign up for that. Unfortunately, I have a conflict of about an hour or so for the delegate assembly. So Ms. Holloway has graciously agreed to be our alternate at the delegate assembly. She's got she's got the package of information. I think you can look at it on the web too. But I looked at it, see substantial changes. But Ms. Holloway, do you have any comments, or if anybody has would like to look through it or have any questions, just contact her before December 3rd. Any comments, Ms. Holloway?
No, because, remember, as a delegate to this assembly, I'm voting based on Saluda as a board, not as what I think myself. So if you do look through this and you have some concerns, please let me know. It'll be the 3rd, I will be on the virtual, I'll be doing virtual. For the 4th, I'll be around in the office.
Do you have that same, or you can scan it or email it to?
I got the same thing I gave you.
Any other questions or comments, anything else to come before the board this evening?
I didn't want to ask one
Yes,
thing.
ma'am.
The flu, you said the flu drive up, what is that? What's it gonna be like?
We're working
Is it
with,
flu testing?
ma'am,
Is it flu testing?
no, ma'am, actually to administer, flu shots to any of our students whose parents want them to get a flu shot. Now, it'll be after school, we're not gonna have them come into the building during the school day. But no, our parents will be able to bring their kids, to, our site and receive a no-cost flu shot. That'll be for all Saluda County students, Saluda County school students.
How is your, supplies as far as disinfectants and all that stuff?
Yeah, we're still in pretty good shape, aren't we? We are still,
Yes, through the new year.
and, we actually.
Chinese New Year, you know, it shuts down.
Yeah, well, and actually too, Ms. Colclair and I actually, spoke some today. While we are in very good shape right now due to the efforts of our ladies jumping ahead of it, we do know that we're going to be having more kids coming in, so we want to go on and contact the State Department now to go on and request some extra stuff, knowing that we don't want February to come and then, everybody requests stuff. So we do plan on making some more requests prior to the first of the year to really ensure that we can stretch out through May. But really, like I say, our people have did a great job of really getting ahead of this last year, to keep us in great shape.
Any other questions? All right, entertain a motion to adjourn, Mr. Jordan.
I'm gonna be adjourned.
By Mr. Jordan, second by Mr. Holloway. All those in favor, signify by raising your hand.